were saying.
Yeah, well, as you know, I had a less than inspiring hospital experience recently. And it was crazy. Like, I have to say, the medical service was great.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I went in. The part that I was nonplussed about was when I was leaving at the end. So I kept all of my stuff together because they didn't give me a little bag like they usually do to keep it with. And so I had all of my, like, whatever I was wearing, like PJs or whatever, in my bag. And I wanted to put my shoes with them. And the woman was like, no, put them under the bed. They'll be safer there. And then obviously it's like bed Tetris when you're in the emergency department. Like, you move between so many beds. Obviously they got left behind. Because I'm like, again, grey and sweating. Like, I'm not really like, you
weren't focusing on like, where are my shoes?
Are my Ugg boots coming with me?
Yeah.
And so at the end of the night, they were like, well, this is the problem, and like not really much we can do about it. It's unpleasant, but you're not going to drop dead today. And I was like, well, I appreciate that. And they were like, well, off you go.
And are you like, okay, where's my shoes?
Yes.
Are you barefoot at this?
Yes.
Because I feel like, you can't leave somewhere barefoot because it's like an instant reminder. It's like, I've forgotten something.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's hard to leave somewhere barefoot.
Yeah.
So no, immediately I was like, where are my shoes?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, we're going to go look for them. They look around, I guess, I don't know, or probably just went and stood in a closet for 15 minutes. I'm like, we can't find them.
But like, again, you're not going to leave without your shoes.
That's what I said. And they're like, you're going to have to.
What happened?
I left without my shoes.
And did they have like some kind of lost and found? Like, you still just never got them?
I never got them back. They said, I'm sure we'll find them. We'll let you know. And I was like, I have a sneaking suspicion I'm never going to see these again.
Yeah, that is weird. I feel like maybe a hospital is the one place that they can just be like, hey, you didn't die. We did our job.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck your shoes. But like, yeah, most other places that you go, you'd just be like, well, it's insane to try and like go home. Like, did you catch like a taxi or something?
No, my partner drove me. So they were like, their solution. Because I was like, I can't walk out of here barefoot.
Yeah.
And I said, because I was annoyed, I wasn't yelling or anything, but I said, getting frustrated at this point, I said, I don't want to walk out of here barefoot like an animal. And she looked at me. And like, obviously I hope I'm a compassionate person. She's like, are you trying to imply that people that don't wear shoes are animals? I was like,
that's so weird.
No.
Like, this isn't the hill to die on, lady.
Yeah, I know. I was like, are we really having like a discussion about how we both think of, I guess, people who are not able to afford shoes? Because I think you should also give them shoes. Because she said a lot of people don't wear shoes. And I was like, well, I think possibly we should also do something about that.
Well, you have to update your expression. Like, I'm not going to walk out of here barefoot like an animal or hippie or someone who just doesn't like shoes.
I also hate.
Yeah.
Or someone who can't afford shoes, or all of these things are not how I'm walking out of here. Yeah. And I was like, she's like, are you saying they're animals? And I said, no, that's not really how metaphors
How
work.
about you focus on the finding of the shoes and not how society views shoeless people?
I know.
This is not the time for this debate.
Don't shoe opinion shame me. And yeah, she said a lot of people leave the hospital without shoes on. And I said, well, that's
like,
really
that's
sad to hear. That's what I said.
Like, you should be keeping track of their shoes then.
Well, that's exactly what
They didn't come. Like, how many people walk into the hospital without shoes? I'm betting a lot. Almost all of them.
That's pretty much what I said. But it's like the middle of the night, and obviously, like, you don't want to argue with a nurse. So I'm trying to, like, keep a lid on it, and, like, you don't want to bother the other patients. So I'm just like, okay, well, if that is true, that's quite a sad indictment, really, on society, isn't it? They were letting people, I guess, come into hospital without shoes and then leave again without shoes on.
No, they're coming in with shoes and they're stealing our shoes.
Maybe that's what I should say. I'm like, you've just admitted I've got you on the hotline with 000.
Yeah. What it sounds like.
Shoe stealing racket.
Yeah, we know how easy it is to get into a hospital and wander around. Let's go find the shoe room, because it sounds like we will have our pick.
Yeah, we're up to a big thing.
Like, I reckon you hang around that hospital entrance long enough, you see like a nurse coming in smiling from ear to ear with a nice new pair of Ugg boots on.
I was very annoyed as well, because they're like official proper Ugg boots. So they're like $200, and they're like, well, don't bring valuables to the hospital. And I was like, you've got a point, but it's not like I was tottering in on my Manolo Blahniks. It was like their slippers going to the hospital, I guess. But,
yeah, you just want to be comfortable.
Yeah. Anyway, long story short, I never saw them again. But yeah, when I was leaving, I was like, I have to say, I was like, again, I don't want to argue with a nurse and it's like a hospital. So I was like, I have to say, like, I am a little bit frustrated by this turn of events. And she was like, don't try to make us feel bad about this.
You lost my shoes. You're in the wrong.
And she was like, this nice lady who I guess had nothing to do with it. She's like one of the patient services people or admin or something, has looked for your shoes. Don't try to make her feel bad.
But she represents the shoes
and
thief.
That's what I said. I said, I'm not trying to make you individually feel guilty. I'm not even trying to make anyone feel guilty.
I'm just saying
but it is a mistake. I am just saying you're a pair of thieves.
Yeah, you're running a criminal organization here and you're defending them.
I was just like, I felt like an episode of Seinfeld where I'm like, I'm not trying to personally insult you or even start an argument. I'm just saying,
I want my shoes.
Yeah. And I'm annoyed that I don't have them. And her solution was, we'll put you in a wheelchair and wheel you to the front door and then your partner can like bundle you into the car.
And you'll be like, and you'll be fine if I just take that wheelchair home with me. I
should have said that.
Because apparently that's the racket that we're running.
No, I said no, obviously. I'll just walk out with no shoes on, but it's definitely not ideal. Because I'm not going to waste a nurse's time to wheel to what? Make a point? Like
the problem is like you argue with her, the more she doesn't want to give you shoes. She's just going to hold on to your Ugg boots to spite you, which is not helpful. So you really got to toe the line between...
But it's also like everyone respects nurses. Like everyone loves nurses. I don't want to like argue with a nurse.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, the best parts were telling that I was shaming, I guess, homeless people and that I shouldn't be trying to make them feel bad for losing my shoes. And I was like, look, I'm not trying to make you feel bad.
Well, then it's like, all right, here's the obvious solution. If you don't care about shoelessness...
Give me your shoes. That's what my partner said later. And I was like, I just wanted to let it go. So I had to wander down one of the main streets of kind of Melbourne City, I guess, with no shoes on. I think it was a Saturday night, actually. And it's funny how quickly you can lose your place in society. And how
people
much...
were shoe shaming you?
Well, no, but I was like, I definitely feel outside of society. Like having shoes on, I think says like, I'm part of what's happening around here.
That's what I'm saying. You can't leave a place that you came to with shoes with no shoes.
Why?
Because now suddenly you're running around like an animal. As we've established.
Saying people without shoes are animals. Yeah, I know. Are you implying that people who are too poor to afford shoes are animals, Ben? Don't call homeless people animals.
You got me. Homeless people even have shoes. Like, who are these shoeless people? If you're shoeless, you're shoeless by your own desire, I think.
I mean, I don't know if that's true, but I was annoyed that I was like, I'm not here to debate my level of compassion for shoeless people, which, to be fair, right now is much higher than probably yours seems to be.
Well, when I see...
because I am among them.
When I see...
I number myself among them.
When I
Walk a mile in their shoes, wish I could.
Or don't, yeah. Walk a mile in their socks.
I didn't even have socks. It was just bare feet.
Midnight Crisis.